It is written in God's word that a broken and a contrite spirit, the Lord will not despise it. And that when you fast and when you pray and when you do all these religious things, but you don't take care of the widow and the orphan, when you don't loose the bonds of wickedness on the oppressed, when you don't, etc. I think it's in Isaiah 25. Go read the Bible, guys. I'm not going to go and spoon feed you anymore. That's what's good. If you don't essentially do what is right by your fellow man, you waste time. You like in 1 Corinthians 13 are like a loud gong and a clanging cymbal. You have no love, but you've got prophesying for days, you've got tongues for days, you've got all different types of stuff for days, Mara. You don't have the fruit of Christianity. You are not having your brothers back. You are not, when they're hungry, giving them food, pulling them out with a harness out of a ditch. Halis by. A shroud of darkness, and then lights out, however not first before, sacrificing to God, a whole bunch of fasting and a whole bunch of praying. You on that day are like Cain, who ought to be giving God a blemished sacrifice, and then you expect him to embrace you into his rest. When Karabo's hungry, you're not feeding her. Karabo's naked, you're not clothing her. Karabo's in prison and sick, and you are not visiting her. Karabo needs hospitality, and you are not inviting her in. Karabo this, Karabo that, Karabo that, Karabo the other. You are literally you have deliberately thrown God's servants headlong, and then you want to go and put a live round in your head after praying hangata and fela we tshwasetala go gaolegile la emkaqweni ke sono ka wena o botlo di tshwantsa di brain, put them on your wall and make your children ba go drawing the painting, ba go drawing di ntho tse mo fridging ka magnet hore ba leta ba re 2 days before mara ke mo drawing abatlo ipolaya after o tlo create that level of bitterness, o tlo utlwisa bana botlhoko ga kana, o tlo utlwisa mosadi wa teng botlhoko ga kana ana le on a path of recovery, aya therapy for being a shopaholic, o bo tlo ipolaya mosadi wa teng a le go therapy ehle abuti modimo o tlo lwetsa gore first and foremost o sile ngwana ka a le ngono a le sheleng a sena next o mmele mo koting. Number 2, wa lo rabaza be ka moso ya bana ba nang le ntate o ipolaileng jwanong le mosadi wa teng jwanong a sa tlo gona go recover onwa o tsena ile alcoholic engwe hectic because of taba gore ke no tla ba o thotse o dengilile a sa tsebo ga iketseng. As a result of your wife's alcoholism, bana ba hao e tlo ba di wayward children ba sa tsebo ba iketseng cause bana le an irresponsible mom. Your suicide did all that. It left my daughter destitute, and it also cost your whole family's future. And you want me to embrace you into my rest? Satan, get behind me. Papa, get behind me. Modimo all the depart from me, work of iniquity, I never knew you. And just like that man who killed himself, the Bible is a tuko MTN. From what the Lord showed me, he is nowhere good. We pulaile asabate go face music. Asas bias ke le masa go face music. Modimo is the one na o ntwetsa ngore ke tlogele go hoda. La nkutlo. A re ke tlogele go hoda. So jaka ga ntwetsa gore nna ke ska hoda ha kana ke re modimo mara o bua ka bo mahwat mo strutting. O bua ka bo mahwat until I discovered gore ntwe ke hodileng apparently allegedly ke ministry wa ka bathong ntwentse ke busy ke sebetsa ka yona dibaka tse ka ofela dijaga tse di mbalwa tse dingata ngata tsena ntse ke sebetsa ke bua le dinyoko and modimo ba re tswa mo yona in tsheje ka tswa pe girl move on. Mosebetsi wa hao go tlo dula ntse o le teng. People are going to be able to access your ministry. Letsatsi le tlo fitlha mo ba tlo shebelang mmereko wa hao mara for now you are go finaling. Look go final round ting go blood sport ke chilo ka go fandam ke bo tompo. They play dirty but you're gonna win. Ke final round. And ka final round ha na go ya di lightweight o le heavyweight. O tshwantse ke go boxing ring le tompo. It's finally nako ya go lo raga tompo mo sfatlhegong, and o ka se rage tompo o ntse le busy ka di lightweight tse ding tse di go goga meriri, o ntse le busy ka di lightweight tse ding tse di go tsipa, o ntse le busy ka di lightweight tse ding tse di go plaka di eyebrow, o ntse le busy ka di lightweight tse ding di go ngwapa, o ntse le busy ka di lightweight tse ding di go dripa sisters ke di lightweight o ka ba gata o tswe mo bona mara just by mere virtue of the fact that you're going to have to take time to concentrate on the lightweight o dila ka tompo o go tumba ka face engwe tlo go concussang aba go ganda sefuba o bo tlhokafale. You will literally end up perishing, not so much because Dompo is undefeatable or these monolithic structures. If you are for me, nobody can be against you, and you can do all things through me who strengthens you. But distraction from minions will literally derail your entire cause. It's like, for instance, have you guys ever had an itch? I guess I gave a little mara when I was in primary or high school or go corporate somewhere, no na le colleague or chomi agejon ene na le samente no cousin yaka ona wela a go bile fimanyana something ba mo phetha beke ka samente abuti ba mo beya casting he batho ga se ke go complaina gore motho o ichi jwang ichi I walk out about sometimes and like and I get especially I get so itchy and I can't scratch. Yo, it's just so crazy. It's gangster. Who cast for 4 or 5 weeks, for 6 weeks because you can't scratch when you are itchy. Hi bunny. You can grab a ruler or something. Or it still doesn't get to the point. Yeah. These people are like an itch or a berry cast. This cast is fixing a broken bone. Papa, walk again almost rating, ne? Important. Important for the recovery of your future agility, your future mobility. Impa because Papa who gave me a bacteria or insinsi or ant. When I learned to define it's a man more or feel like I was a mic something was a making next or but wing why I'm because on a listen. But what kiki itch in a cast. The wicked, not the wicked, so the wicked too, but like these minions are like an itch in a cast. A very big other important thing needs to be done, but they keep on making you want to scratch. They keep on making how reach each day. Mara etla disturb process ya how ya healing. O tla qena le I get how a very cast or a bone. Sorry, you've broken a bone. That's why you're wearing a cast. More robileng le supporting or ma sample. Maybe ke le letlalo la gago le bulegile. You know gona le wound bruise nyana something there. How ganga this bacterial thing? Ntho e nang le bacteria kota thipa ya go kitchening one ntse o busy go tla mo ngwaya o tlo kenya infection mo an environment e leng metsi environment e nirang grand shop go re go tlogela defela le jwalo until doctor dila ka yona ha lo mona ka beke e fedileng that's one scan. Yeah, marona wa ngwaya ka teaspoon busy ka teaspoon unzo re kenya mara cast o tla ngwaya until you get an infection and now you have to take that whole cast out ba lo e tlosa ka so ba be engwe hape. You are like 10 steps back, 5 steps forward. Kikimo wena, or you know, on only 5-2 the netball championships. How do the maker? Because wasense cast ya how your god. These wicked are like an itch in a cast. These random minions, babangata. Bang batlang babatang riba ke tsebo go tsa ka bona ba hlanya ka ditlharenyana tsa korobela tse whack. They're an itch in a cast. They are a duck at the toes of a big giant dinosaur fighting another dinosaur. They are itching my hair in the center of a war between Godzilla and King Kong. And I'm just like, I'm going to go in a clean room where I'm going to fight this beast that is Godzilla. Godzilla go room eskono eling sonoro between nale Godzilla fela nale King Kong fela. Go ngwapana fela the two of us. Ne go kena ko a glass shelter. Mo tlonelang ko mohare ha madi a tshologa meno awa a lo shapa glass window. Hore audience ka montle e kana nje fela e chere. Ere na ke favor Tompo, ke favor Van Damme. Mara ba tlo gona o kena ka mohare ba tlo dripa ba tlo ngwapa ba tlo tigazisa ba tlo bear a feather up my nose ha ba tlo nketsa the thing I ke tlo distractwa ke batho ba leng infinitesimal that are insignificant, that in the grander scheme of things are just vestigial. They are not my formidable enemy. They are not my worthwhile opponent. They are not the person that the Lord has said or has seen fit to raise me up in order to uproot. They are just distracting minions of Satan. And I will keep on highlighting that. So given that they can get me, like I said earlier, people in the occult have access. They have got access to your content without it being clear in your analytics that they watched you. Ba memo ke roi make maybe isn't roi miri marane ke batla hore ba tarmisi ba memo ke di mermaids ho lo ya go the city under the sea batho nyana ba go ba hectic hakana ba gona ho hema ka motlasa metsi ba na le di ba sna di gills ba gona ho hema nje fela ba o ka monka re ke nimo batho ba jwalo ba gona lo shebela YouTube video ya hao ba dutse nje fela mo mawatleng ba hlanya they're gonna watch your video from the ocean without getting an electric unit. They're like that. I'm not dealing with some miniature oak that drowns in the ocean. Hake na ulo tota go Devon Beach. Whereas this guy ukena mole vatermisi abazwa after 10 days when I'm dealing with people that are that deeply involved in the occult. I'm not dealing with amateurs I'm not. And the Lord was telling me that I am hoarding amateurs. I am hoarding dinsinzi. I am hoarding bugs that are going to interrupt with the final round against occult practitioners. So nina, any memwe emakaltini, I will say this again. You are prolific. Nobody compares to you in terms of what you've seen in the occult. And the reason God is going to squash you underneath his palm like you are some insect. Even before he squashes the that are in my hair like in Tinti. Is because you are privy when you are that involved in the occult. How can you meeting story kaka vatar Messi ka mamate? How sheba la TV? What's in electrocution? What does that mean? How now exercise YouTube channel ya Karabo without even making it clear in the analytics that when you are able to do that kind of magic, okay, that kind of witchcraft, the kind that gets you hoodwinked, the kind that makes you essentially live with demons, the kind of witches that don't only cite the tigoloshi, like low order entities, like spiritual wickedness in high places, but you get to see authorities like rulers. I can't really say that you see principalities because they are literally over entire countries, but you do get to see some pretty high order entities. Like, they are not spiritual wickedness in high places like it is described in Ephesians 6. You commune with such high order entities that are over entire territories, geographical locations, and not mere minions that are to be possessing people's bodies. You possess them so you commune with them so hectically that they have bodies. Listen, yo guys, I can explain and man, I gotta go shower. Listen up, okay? I already explained this before, but I will briefly touch on it for like maybe 5 minutes. Kibu wamona. Demons are very highly likely disembodied spirits of the Nephilim, essentially half angel, half human, hybrids that passed away, and because fallen angels are judged, however, yet to go to the abyss, they don't immediately go to hell because they are half human. So they roam the earth. They have been in what looks more or less like human bodies, and they miss bodies. They're just disembodied spirits, so they can possess human beings. They have an incentive to come inside your body and possess you. But fallen angels, Satan and them, now they've got their own bodies, their spiritual bodies, yes, so they can shapeshift and they can disappear and reappear and whatnot, but they have got bodies. They're not mere wandering spirits who are without a body. They're like Jesus that way, in the sense that Christ has a body, right? Right now, we know that Christ has a body. The Holy Spirit is spirit. The Godhead, the person of the Godhead that has a body is Christ. And entities like Christ have a body. And like Christ, they can walk through walls. Like Christ, they can disappear and reappear. They can be in spirit form, and so you not be able to see them. So essentially be like a ghost, an apparition, or appear in personal form. You know how the angel of the Lord appeared to people? Angels, fallen angels are like that. They've got mutant powers to a certain extent. They can disappear, reappear, blah, 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 all that jazz, but they've got bodies. And so because they've got bodies that are super powerful in their ability than human beings, they have no incentive to come and fill your deadbeat body that's out here dead in trespasses and sins and perishing. When you shoot it dies. Your body is not nothing to them. It's not worthwhile. While Nephilim, because they're disembodied, they died in the flood, they have an incentive to come in your body, even though it is substandard in comparison to the body that they used to have. Whereas fallen angels have superior bodies to us. We are made a little lower than the angels, and so therefore they have no incentive to leave their bodies and indwell us. The only time in history where we know that the devil is going to indwell a human being is in the Antichrist. There is no other time described in the scriptures where there is a man indwelt by Satan himself other than the Antichrist. And there is a huge incentive by Satan to come in the Antichrist's body for the purposes with which the Antichrist has been ordained by God from eternity past. He has been given the job to ruin the world once and for all. So Satan is going to go in there. The man of perdition, the son of lawlessness, described also in 2 Thessalonians 2. So having spoken that, fallen angels have bodies, okay? And these bodies, they choose, just like with Jesus, to manifest to whomever they will manifest in the physical form. Christ manifests to his disciples. He showed themselves to them in the physical form, and he didn't however show himself in the physical form to everybody, right? He is maintained largely in spirit form, or at least in apparition form, in a transparent see-through form to our sight, unless he's seen that he wants to show himself to you, all right? Unless he wants to show himself to you. So spiritual beings are like that. They have bodies, and they can, like I said, show themselves to whomever they want to show themselves to. And there are people who dabble with so much dark arts that entities see it fit to show themselves to them. And these individuals see, therefore, entire monsters, okay? They see Satan, Lucifer. They see fallen angels, what they look like, or his version in masquerading as an angel of light, how he can look really good, the shape-shifting. Beasts, like animals that are fallen angels that make themselves beasts. These people who are involved in certain levels or layers of satanic magic have seen the kinds of monsters that you will see in comic strips, comic books, and they walk around with them in underground oceans, in random weird spaces, and these things give them powers to do weird stuff. So very high level occult practitioners, like as in satanic high priests at very lofty levels. They see even monstrous fallen angels in their either menacing form or they're masquerading as an angel of light form. And they are given insensitivity to receive that stimuli. Essentially, they're not as scared as you and me if at all we was to see a little monster in a corner. In the account. Alright. So if you have seen a physical walking fallen angel in a city underneath the ocean at the Bermuda Triangle or whatever, honey, then you must understand that you are also going to be awarded an ability, just like with entities, to see who is truly a saint and who isn't, what a fiery Christian that is super fervently prayerful looks like. You are going to be enabled, just like fallen angels are enabled, to differentiate between a lukewarm Christian who is not really a Christian versus a very hot banana, a hot potato. They are able to tell the difference between Karabo and, like I made mention earlier, of Pinky, or was it Maina or Renee, some chick that actually has a YouTube channel, but she's not the real deal, I'm sorry. Yeah, people who are involved in very hard knock devil magic. Not every Jane and Joe involved in witchcraft, not every sangoma has got this power. Do you understand? It is only those that dabble with such dark entities, with such dark arts, and who get indwelt by such hard knock demons that they can literally breathe underwater. They can disappear for days on end. They can, upon being in these meetings, they can shapeshift. They can also see things that other people don't. They can see entities in a way that we don't. To us, they are just aberrations. We only smell them in the room when it stinks like rotten eggs. Right there, right next to the smell. People like these also can see a saint from a mile away. People like these also can tell you who prays day and night from a mile away. People like these walk around in society. They walk around in society and they target you purely because they just got harassed. Or they walk right by Edgar's. They walk right by Steers. They decide to go and have lunch at Steers restaurant and then change their minds and say, no, children, we're gonna go to Panarotti's because out here having dinner and they can't stand their presence. So therefore they choose a change of restaurant. They will leave a movie house when a Christian walks in there because they are too sensitive to the Spirit of God in their midst. They're like demons in the man in the cave that come to Christ and say, son of man, what do you want with us? Who, don't take us out. And then the Lord takes them out and puts them in the pigs. When they encounter a saint, they manifest. They can't help but manifest. They manifest and they say, Karabo, what do you want with us? And so they negotiate and they toggle with us, they harass us, they poke and prod away at us, and when then they can't handle the Spirit too sufficiently, they even get expelled out of the room altogether, and then they roam around in dry, arid places. They will target you. They're not the majority of the earth. There are many who are celebrities in the entertainment industry. That's why as a feverish, fervent, super prayerful Christian, you are highly unlikely going to be an A-list celebrity, because you are going to be working on set with people who are so sensitive to the Spirit of God that they can't be in your midst, because they are among those that have been initiated in places like those where they have seen actual demons. That's why I'm speaking right now with content creators and celebrities and businessmen and women, etc., who have been invited to cults. You cannot, unless you've been invited to an actual cult, an organization. You can't be a lone ranger and be this kind of Satanist. You can't be operating in your own unique capacity and be this kind of Satanist. It is within pair spans. They know that they have to operate in societies because the work that they achieve, that they fulfill, is similar to the work of the kingdom of God. Where 2 or 3 are gathered, there he is with us. Where 2 or 3 of them are gathered, so too is the power of Satan amidst them, that much more haughty. So they need a cultic environment within which to operate. They need very many of them in one sitting. And so it's these who belong to cults that are the most dangerous, not the lone rangers that practice voodoo in their own backyard like the guy in the US. I am speaking about cult members. Do you understand what I'm saying? That have been recruited, like the way that the recruiter in the show The Squid Game recruits. Train station was next. They play a game of Dachi with you, and then next thing you go somewhere and they start to shoot you dead one by one, and only a select few, only 1 or 2 of them end up wealthy and into the future, 50 years down the line. They're still prolific celebrities. They are music executives. They are entertainment they are entertainment industry moguls. They are running empires. It's only a handful of all the many people that started playing the Squid Game in the first place. It's only a handful. All the celebrities that were rife in the 80s all the celebrities that were rife in the 90s, all the celebrities that were rife in the 90s, the 2000s, etc. They were, you know who the celebrities of the 2000s were, but only a few of them make it past that decade. Only a few of them make it past that 15 years. After 10 to 15 years, most of the celebrities of a certain era are gone. But there are others that, like I said, into the future, or it was back in 1997 when they started. It is these ones that are maintained in all of the strength that have won the Squid Game. They have gone through the modes. Others of them have been killed off, while the one or two that remain are now today billionaires, millionaires, able even to bribe the country's president, able to extort the country's president, able to tell the country's president, sign into legislation a law that's going to make your country very taboo. They're able to do that. They're able to pull those kinds of strings because they've come with the system from long ago. They have raised up the ranks and have defied everyone in these Squid Games and won. So now they're part of the elite. They're like Beyonce that way. Get what Beyonce, do you understand? Get what Jay-Z. In terms of American terminology, it's people who are running your country. As that girl from KTV, as that girl from YoTV, like long ago with everyone else at the very intimacy of their, the very infancy, of their careers, but everybody else fell off the bandwagon except them. These people, therefore, with all that khosi khadi or khosi hood that they've been given, don't want to let go. They hold on to it for dear life. But Satan, and they've seen the devil, and they've seen Usatan, Lucifer, either him directly or his fallen angels. But shapeshift, like they've seen stuff of horror movies, and you cannot stand in front of a person that like that. And in the office building where you work, CEO your company, you cannot be in the same boardroom with him for 2 hours and him be able to stand your presence as a saint. Otro tola excuse to either make you leave that meeting, or he will get out, and you will discover after a couple of days have progressed that some strange charges are going to get trumped up against you in the office, and you're going to start to lose your job, or you're going to change departments or something, or you're going to be moved off the project. He's not going to be want to be in close proximity to you. They will be strange towards you. Do you understand? In a way that is unexplainable. And they will make your life a living nightmare until either you quit your job or you're fired. They will just do something to get rid of you because one of those. And that should tell you how few and far between rare essentially true saints are. We are on the narrow road that leads to life that only a few people find. So these people, even though babangata littered all over society, babangata though, in comparison to all of the minions in the occult, even though they're all over, they don't always run into real saints, and they also don't always run into real prayerful, fervent, effervescent, feverish, super bomby saints. Like abantu bahlala bathandaza, abantu abahlala faster, and all that jazz. Yeah, that's what's good. They don't always run into such saints. Christians are lazy. Alright? Sometimes they're lazy to pray. And when you are lazy to pray, you are bearable sometimes in the climate of a very prolific Satanist. Mara if all night long, if all day long to God, yeah, they can't be in the same room as you. So the only way to infiltrate your space is for them to water you down, to simmer down your prayer. Do you understand what I'm saying? And they've been trying for a minute, using minions to try and water down my prayer. Now baba tongpolaya altogether. Mara, they cannot stand in front of me. I told you about a dream where they wanted to infiltrate some random low order Satanist lady to mess me up, mess with my instruments, and this woman could not get to me because I wasn't able to interpret what she's trying to do, the dream, blah blah blah. I've explained it in the past before. They had to go via that minion in order for the big head honcho, head of the snake, to be in my presence successfully. He has got to water down prayer. He's got to make me compromise. He's got to make me sleep with some guy out of wedlock. And if he can simmer down my Christianity, hence why he sends all of these minions on errands. These people who have been tasked to deal with me, they are the ones that lose bites of their careers. They are the ones that lose contracts. They are the ones that suddenly they were to be cast in a movie. Next thing they lose that opportunity to some other actor or actress. They're the ones. That's what's good. So how do celebrities suddenly lose the endorsements all over the show? Understand, chances are they failed abysmally at weakening a saint or something. Some assignment because they were in some cultic experiment and azanya sebenza for them. Ntse ke zamwa nna ke di celebi nako e kaofela la nkutla ntse ke zamwa ba batlang go tsosa di career tsa bona ba di defibrillator ntse ba le jitle ntse ba zama ntse ba sa gone. And when they fail ke a punishwa la, akuna amnesty, akuna mercy. There's no honor among thieves. So ba tla ba fela ba go tumpeka mpama, and it's that basic. Okay, yeah, that's what's good. Yeah, la ma celebrity la bolele all over the show the big head, no, sorry, the heads of snakes, the people who see such things in the occult, they cannot truly deal with the saint unless they compromise us, like I said, right? So that's why they will make your life like what it is that they've done to my life, okay? They will bury you on all sides, and they will also go out of their way to literally end impilo yakho. They're not succeeding. And they also know the difference between me and I can't call them fluffy if they're saints, but a lazy Christian, a Christian that is not as prayerful, a Christian that is not always fasting, a saint that is somewhat compromised. Every so often they partake in gossip. Also, Christians that are not persecuted are not as serious sometimes with brittling things like sin, and impilo zabo are comfortable enough for them to take the grace of God every so often for granted, like it happens in the body of Christ. But when you are going through the kind of spiritual war that I'm going through, you will literally nip in the bud any pornographic idea lest it should lead you to watching porn, because you watching porn for one night can literally make a difference between you breaking through out of a dizzy spell of human sacrifice attempt on your person to kill you, versus you languishing through it for 5 days and you just gotta survive. It is a difference between overcoming that stronghold of demonic human sacrifice attack over 2 hours versus 5 days. So before you masturbate, you think twice when you're persecuted that badly. Before you watch porn, think twice. Before you watch some filthy show, when you are in the middle of a violent spiritual war, that which are easy sins, not easy sins, but it's easier for them to fall into by Christians who are under normal circumstances quite comfortable. You don't do it. When you are facing life and death itself, when you are beleaguered violently, but the Lord, he is close to the brokenhearted and he binds up their wounds. Feverishly persecuted saints, God is really close to them. And so their righteousness is that much more fervent. They bear that much more fruit. And they hold on that much more fervently. And they are also given that much more measure of grace because of that which they are going through. So we don't easily just sin as suffering saints. It's not that easy for us to just dive into porn or dive into masturbation. It takes a lot for a saint that persecuted to just look at porn, because you know the consequences are, like I said, the difference between coming out of a wildfire in 2 hours versus 5 days. You put yourself in a spiritual war that's just going to linger for much longer than absolutely necessary. So you tell yourself Satani pumpele ka, and you kick it to the curb. The thought, even you kick it to the curb. You go and you take a cold shower. If you are harassed by incubus and succubus spirits, I don't know how many times I have been given sex dreams in Jafela so as to inspire me to either watch porn or masturbate. And I gotta, after waking up from all that bodily arousal, drink water, coffee, shower, whatever, but don't hearken, because that's the thing that's going to make them hold on to you. Hook. Parasite. You know the difference between a Christian or Satani or flesh jwalo. They know the difference between somebody like that versus someone that every so often allows themselves to get inside a bad magazine. They know the difference, because ukukhanya kwethu kudifferent kuhlukile. Ukukhanya kwethu kuhlukile. How we glow, how bright we are in the spirit, it is different. How much we cause them to basically squint their eyes is different. Some of us, we walk around in a ball of fire, and it is those that they can't touch, that they must send lower order minions that are not as sensitive to the spirit of God. Basically little witches that don't know what they're doing. They send them on us. Hence why the guy from America, the random dude, outside of grandmother's house, all these guys that they learned the spells of on YouTube, because they are able, given that they're so low order, to infiltrate my space without burning into my life. Without getting stung I'm an electric eel or whatever. So baba batla infiltrate ka bona. Baba rata hure, and God was like, "Jeka haba rata dinjangana tse go lateletseng morago tse minion hure. Baby o tlotsa mo ba di minion hure. O tlotsa mo di hure minion. O tlotsa mo bona. O tlotsa mo di minioning." You are going to walk away from your ministry because it is these minions that are their hope. Because bona baling kutsi baling dazzling. I'm dazzling in the spirit, right? Bona baba bangata very heavy in the occult. They see a dazzling inferno. You are a bright fire, and they struggle with you. So if you eliminate minions over time, your spiritual war is going to be that much easier. Cause dinjate ha di kgone go go tinta, but for ka di kokoracha ba khozama kokora di kokoracha. They need cockroaches around your toes, baby. So what I'm gonna do is put you in a very clean kitchen and make you sit go kitchening go sofeng, go that revolving chair, elo khona nguzwinga ka yona. Sometimes you can twirl on it. Oba emetse nje fela o tla lwana. And see if they will come to the battlefield batlolwana. O tlo bloma go kitchening eskono, e bleachitsweng, go ntshitswe dinta le di everything. We ripped away the tile ra tlosa di maggots, ra tlosa di termites. We fumigated everything. I'm going to put you in the kitchen, a single cockroach. And I'm going to basically say, to my disciple and see if like I'm wana kali one into the lead twin. Izan, Woza except bring your 7 T-Rexes to this bronchobronchosaurus, this bronchotosaisaurus, the other one with the long neck, herbivore. The Lord is basically saying to you, occult practitioners, baling very prolific, baling hard noko bang shebileng ka di khalas. He is saying to you, come for my daughter in a channel. Moa dutsingale no si go sena new subscriber ra hona motho mo shebileng wana batho left and right days reketseng. Why ha ka mo badula mo mpetong a robala. Abatso ga a re maradin tshang mo strateng go different. Wa itse go thutsenya na jwang tambu we di market clients so whatever. Entlang ba o sile ba buti le tlong karapaleng wa peleng raga ka di flying kiki bantong bo ngwana entlang ke le emets cause ke tseba le tlabeleng shebeletse from city under the sea dinswa Ozan guys come. Yeah, I'm dazzling. Like you need people who can touch me. You need your minions, don't you see? You need the guy from America. You need the random lackluster poor keep selling, tuck shop owning, spaza shop running freak from Deep Sludge that thinks that I'm a viable wife. You need him. You need the guy that learns korobela. Yeah, tubopo on in the internet from some little witch that does strange stuff online. Anza fudwa. Mo dima something especially. You need low order Satanists to come and tase me. You need them. Hore ba tlo fitla mo bang wape, bang chebise porn. Ba ntse ba le busy ba go bala le nna mo ditorong, bang zama, bang scratch, ba ntse ba busy ba lata le pico a feather and stroking it down my cheek. You need them because they're the only ones that can walk into the fire that I am. Because their bodies are not made sensitive to the Holy Spirit the way that you are. Kodwa, if I were to sit endlini eskun, engenama cockroach, engenama rodents, engenalonto yo rubbish na emgaqeni, uma ngingahlala nje kwindlu empty engenafinisha, uma ngingahlala mina nje kwisitulo ngiroke ndinimele mbobhutiza nizokhona ngithi nokungena ngejarita. Anizongena ngithi nejarita nizovela nijika laphaya niyodubulwani mekhoneni. Nizogcina nje khoneni, nizogcina edouble epeni, nizothatha amadouble apho kungeeskepisha ngoba mina ndizondishisa from a distance. Ngizonidubula nje by mere virtue of indaba yokuthi ilanga lonke nebusuku ndiyathandaza zo. Uma mina ngihlezi estairs ndidla ibhega, awukwazi nokuhlala next door phambi kwami, imilkshake yakho izobhoyila, uzofila engathi ngu-mountain lava. Uyabhoyela lo muntu ngumilkshake kodwa mina ndifuna ukuphuza milkshake andikwazi ukuphuza cause umilkshake wami ngu-mountain lava ngoba bheka lo muzalwane lona ubhizi uyathandaza phambi ngami noma adla ipizza uyathandaza noma adla ibhega uyathandaza lo muntu angazi ukuthi uthandaza kanjani adla ibhega kodwa umoya wakhe uhlala uthandaza noma athulile noma alele lo muntu uyakhala ngoba usupplement ukuthandaza kwakhe lo sisters makavukile so that makalele kuyaqhubeka nje ngokuthandaza lo muntu. So noma adla ibhega nama-chips at stairs lo muntu lona uhlala yathandaza. So mina imilkshake yami iyabhabhula. Imilkshake yami busy lana ngu-molten lava ngikwazi ungidiphuzela milkshake. Kwamele sihambe myeni wami nicer, kwamele sihambe mufazi wami nicer nabantwana asizolala estairs asiye McDonald's badlala nizodlala laphaya kwi-playroom yase-McDonald's. Lo muntu lo asimkhona. Angeke mina ngihlala in a restaurant next to a woman even though she's chewing a burger. She's praying because her spirit just keeps praying because she's always just so much of a spirit of prayer that umthandazo uyaqhubeka noma lele kunjalo. With abazalwana abanye, so certain Christians are so prayerful that nomulele uyaqhubeka ngomthandazo ngoba that's what you slept intending to do. Lanzo otsela ugcina unso waqhubeka kathapela because that's what you were doing before unokwa out game sleeping spells. The past week before I posted the last video that I posted, the way the way I got so attacked by Tongo around around 12 p.m. He batho boroko bole bo filang kare motho o go beile something e imelang like letlapa mo tlhogong hore o lo beya tlhogo ga go mo mkamelong on the pillow. I resisted it. Ke ntse ke le busy ke le bubble head ele ya mo koloing. You know that bubble head? Ke le so ke ntse ke phapama I resisted until 7 a.m. in the morning. Usually it breaks at around 4 a.m. There was a day when it lingered all the way up until ke robala ka 7:30 hoseng. 7:30. The way never batla ke robale ka teng. I resisted for 2 or 3 4 days with that kind of heavy sleepiness in the middle of all night prayer, such that on the 5th day gwaba no so much peace manglele. There was so much peace. And on top of that, the next day, with me expecting ukuthi, next day of which was last night, with me expecting hore ke tlo nne ke le bubble head again bosigo. I was awake, alert all night long. It was because I won. I conquered. I broke past the witchcraft. Because that makes it impossible for them to get into my backyard. So T-Rex, let's talk. The only way that you can talk to me, touch me, enter my space is if T-Rex and Jandue, you actually come into my space. You can't handle my presence if I was standing next to you in a queue go past if I was in traffic next to you in like proper bumper to bumper traffic and walk the way you can't handle the Spirit of God. If we were in the same mall, kiloko at gas, kireka di paint, seniors kileka di paint tse lekanang tse sa tlo drawang VPN. Ha kiloko at gas kileka di paint tse lekanang di bonga, di zonga. O ka feta first stop e lo go no batla o ya lo ena o lo reka tranka ko at gas. O ka se ke o tla nka di lifty and go upstairs who lo walk the same path where I am walking, so as to avoid the periphery, the distance of the Spirit around me, of God, just to get to the King Pie in the mall. The King Pie is on the same floor that you are walking, mara o tlo nka di dry cause na lemzalwane o mo filang. That's the level of discomfort that you put yourself through as occult practitioners, and that's why you have so many runners. That's why in society kwamele o yotunya ulotuma you're made to the dry cleaners. Yourself. That's why you gotta go. That's why you're like the penguin in Gotham. Have you seen that penguin, especially in one of those old school Gotham movies? Like in my 500-pound life. You tell people, please go there for me. Please go there for me. Please go there for me. Please go do this, that. You tell people, some of y'all are so deeply involved in the occult that even if because even in fake churches like the ones about Bushiri, that are so devil possessed. You are so demon possessed. That kwamele ni send ama errand boy in. You gotta send errand boys that are far more able to withstand the Spirit of God. So la nona le ba obisi le joga ko mantlong a lona. You've got treadmills in your houses. You've got what do you call this thing? Steppers. You've got such big yards that you do laps there rather than go to the gym, and you run businesses from right at home. And company either avoid or because you are that prolific in the occult. So it's not practical to be that satanic. It's not always practical, because sometimes you will literally be made a mad woman or a madman. Go any environment that you're at, because when in that space you will manifest break out into fight or you will suddenly seize on the floor because entities in you entities in you as guys and then labantu laba that are following you around batho ba lateletseng morago ba aspiring to be who you are. You are like penguin in Gotham. You're practically like a contestant or a person that they're covering on that show, My 500-Pound Life. Everybody at the head of the food chain. How you become such a social recluse because of how hard it is to be in the climate of certain saintly activity. I want to be able to get on an airplane and not cancel my flight because when I live in the airplane, I want to be able to travel easily. You pride yourselves, I get on these private jets, so now move up from town to town, city to city without being in a flight. Like a praying church of mamas out there going on a retreat somewhere. Yeah, with your private jets, you're able to escape stuff like that. Mara bustling environments, first and foremost, lebabona from a distance, and you literally take detours. You deliberately avoid them. And as the occult practitioners, listen to this. Those of y'all that are in lower ranks, this disease, this metastasizing cancer in your bones, gradually. There is so many amount of demons that you have to bring into your body for you to have that kind of sensitivity to the Spirit of God. But it is an incline. The higher you go up the ranks in the occult, the stronger your sensitivity to the Holy Spirit becomes, right? So some of y'all are not even so lofty that you would avoid being in the same air, in the same flight as a saint, but you can already tell when you get on that flight that there is a saint. It's slightly agitating, but not enough for you to avoid the flight altogether. There is a guy that came that is an occult practitioner on Fidiling. He could feel that I was Mzalwane and tried therefore to sleep with me. He tried to infiltrate me. He tried to lie about being single when he was married. He tried to promise marriage and whatnot. Because and it was something anabata we squelcher, because when they drain it out of you, they gain wealth, beef up, right? They're given some kind of power. He had not yet arrived at a level of occult involvement that would make it impossible for him to be in my company, but he was able to, however, feel that I'm saved. When you start to feel that someone is a Christian, you're in danger. It means the next level is going to make you so sensitive that you can't bear to be in that climate. So you will literally pass up on bus rides, a car. You will act a fool in traffic. If you're literally parked next to a Christian car, you will skip that red light. You will literally take the risk of your life and go over that red light because it's too much. If you want to put yourself in that kind of disquiet living on earth, you will keep on growing up the ranks in the occult. That's why your high priests and your high priestesses, sending you out on errands. They're home-based, do you understand? Largely. Highly the CEOs of the company, they're always closed in their offices. Among colleagues in the company that they're running. Walk up and down the aisles and deal with stuff. Because company climate, and how that is too close, like either close or an applicant to be a personal assistant. The moment I look lobby, waiting for the interview, and literally, even though he was planning on conducting the interview, he will ask some colleague of his to run the interview and make an excuse saying, I got called into a meeting, something urgent came up, but please interview her, knowing that opposite. Tell me about yourself. What is your experience? Interviewer, because I got opposite way in an interview. That is how demon possessed some occult practitioners are. They cannot be in the climate of a feverish Christian. But by the grace of God, as for them in society, so they don't have to live as uncomfortably as it looks on the surface. They can indeed get away with it. They can slip through the cracks without being noticeable. Driver ka Sunday to Spa driver around kereke eleng strateng sa high because ke sontaha batho ba ko kerekeng, mara during the week he was saying every morning, Monday to Friday, wakona driver past that church. Mara when there's a service, akakwazi driver past it. Ngoba labantu bayathandaza, labantu they are worshiping, labantu they are fellowshipping, labantu baningi in one spot, and the Spirit of God yababhoma. It's too much. When you live in Pinanjelo, you are practically a demon. You are practically Satan himself, or Satan, or fallen angel. That's what you are. Because fallen angels and demons see us that way. Fallen angels and demons avoid us that way sometimes. When you are too fervent and feverish, it's written in God's word that resist the devil and he will flee from you. So when you get that indwelt by entities, you literally will flee from saints. O tlo balega go traffic, o balega go officing, o balega go molong, o balega go strateng, o balega ke re go highwaying, o tshwantse drive, or you will skip red robots just so you don't have to park next to a saint in traffic. Baphila kanjalo labantu. And so Nina that already can sense abazalwane. Next level, it's gonna get worse. Understand, it's gonna get worse. Penguin, wako Gotham. You will sit there and they feel like giving instructions to everybody. And otlo bora bana ba hao sa khono ba isa parking. Otlo bora bana ba hao o sa khono ba isa ko pizzeng ko Milky Way. O tlo bora mosadi wa teng o sa khono ya holidaying without complaining. about comfortability in business class because gona le some mzalwane there. But no the moods. Kante is not so much the moods. Blind. And so you are just passing everybody's shade. You're making people leave the restaurant early because a saint came in and sat next to you. You are making. So I mean, really, if you have seen that kind of power in abazalwane bakosomandla, when you've seen that kind of power in saints of the living God, in the King of the universe, in the Lord of lords and King of kings, those who allege to him, is to put yourself in harm's way, abutile osi. It is to basically confirm the existence of hell and heaven, but without embracing heaven. It is to put yourself on a deathbed where it is literally, entirely, and comprehensively possible for you to get out of there scot-free without a single spot on your body, and yet you take yourself to the flames of hell anyway. If you stay in that darkness, when God said, I've come to set the captives free, you're like the Israelites touching the Ark of the Covenant and then getting struck dead on the spot. You keep on tasing people with that kind of blazing inferno. And some of y'all know in the occult, right, that that certain saints, you can't just touch them because in the past you've been killed. So that's why you send minions on us. That's why you send little lower order people on us. The people that are not that sensitive to the Spirit of God, you send them on us. You send infiltrating messengers of Satan so that you don't have to get killed, stricken dead, because you know what touching the Ark of the Covenant does. And you also know that these lower order people, when they touch the Ark of the Covenant, they don't get killed straight away. Mudimu doesn't strike them dead. Properly, a wicked man and a wicked woman that are just harassing a Christian can sit around as a tick in her hair for 5 years and not be uprooted by God, because they are to a certain extent like the Philistines. They have an excuse. They don't know how to handle the Ark of the Covenant, so God gives them grace. You know that you can send minions on us. And the Lord has told me, you're hoarding your ministry. The powerful and that have made you Dr. Doolittle. These animals that have made you Dr. Doolittle, that you keep on talking to, even though the animals, yeah, they are leaning on minions to try and get to you. So if you get out of your ministry and you sit in an empty house, it's 90 minion. They will one by one just start dropping like dominoes. You, however, seeing as it is your Achilles heel, seeing as it's your Achilles heel to not do ministry, to shut up and just twiddle your thumbs, your fingers, and go nowhere, seeing as on prophecy and saying nothing, you will still have a place in which to vomit all the prophecy I give you, all that which I share, my daughter. You will be able to share it. Into a vacuum. You're gonna speak into a vortex, a twisting whirlwind, like the House and the Wizard of Oz. It's just gonna be twisting in the wind. Yeah, and it will be landed in Oz. It'll land in Oz. It'll go the kingdom of darkness. Izofiga in Oz. My little twisting house like Dorothy is gonna land in Oz because y'all are surveilling me. It doesn't matter where I go. Essentially, whatever YouTube channel I start, you will find it because you're able to find me everywhere I go. Whatever internet footprint, whatever electronic footprint I might place on the floor, you are like ones who have got UV lights, and my footprints are out here oozing some gas or some liquid that glows under the UV light. I tried before to flee where you guys won't find me, and I discovered in the last message that I did after doing it that really and truly, Karabo, to threaten to leave and these people never find you again is moot. It's moot. It's hollow note and ash, baby girl, because bazokuthola. The moment nje fela unyakaza, bazokuthola, because labantu have got satanic powers. They are dwelling in spiritual wickedness in high places. They are rolling around in the second heavens and the cosmos with fallen angels of which you can't hide from. You can't. You can't bury yourself in some kind of a bunker and the devil not just kind of hang out, sit next to you, mosofing. The only way to get rid of the devil is by prayer. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Do you understand? Consecration to Christ gets rid of fallen angels, entities. However, these entities are pervasive in the worst way. They are to be peeping like a peeping Tom through binoculars into your shower as you are bathing at night. They are literally going to follow you everywhere you go. La Bantu have got magic powers that follow you everywhere. Astral projectors get out of their bodies and hover around cities. So therefore, they can literally watch you uhlapa busihu. That's how deeply satanic these people are. And just deal. Yeah. These people follow you in lucid dreamers, get out of their bodies and out in the second heavens, be seeing strange things. People who have a psychedelic trip can literally exit imzimba yabo spiritually and see things in the cosmological realm. They are without bodily boundaries. Therefore, the moment I start a YouTube channel, the moment I edit anything on my IP address on my computer, they know I'm doing it. When I create a new channel, when I get my advanced features verified, when everything I do, start literally from the very embryonic phase of starting a YouTube channel, they're onto it. And every little iota of content that I post, they're also onto it. Hawana monkayang to run away from these people. So there is also during the time when I was trying to run away to start an animated channel, the new ones that I would start thinking that I'm running away from these people, I would get this song playing in my head. If at first you don't succeed, they're mocking me. Yeah, dust yourself off and try again. You can dust it off and try again, again. First, that Aliyah song just kept on playing. I was being mocked by entities that, yeah, try a new YouTube channel. Bazotola within 2 seconds, and you will upload a short, get 2 people liking you. The next short you upload, 0 views. 0 views. It happened. It's what made me go back to my main channel, because I realized that there's no I can flee. But that season brought forth, it basically gave birth to animation, because I wanted to hide behind animation. I saw that starting new YouTube channels is not so much the solution here. The solution is in starting new YouTube channels indeed, but ones where little tiny minions, they're cockroaches, they won't find me, because they don't have these powers. They're cockroaches are definitely not going to find me, because the big fat chunky head of the snake is making sure that my content across all the channels that I have started will stay with no subscribers. Yesterday when I was starting my channels, I started 5 of them again, because I want my 5 channels back. You don't give them back to me, so I started 5 new channels. Yeah, as I was busy creating these channels, the description, feature eligibility, busy, what do you call this word, upload defaults. When I'm busy putting in upload defaults and profile pics and whatnot, basically just creating a channel, a brand, new brand, 5 of them, just like I had 5 before, including 1 animation. Yeah, that's what's good. The Spirit of God said you're gonna stay with no subscribers here. Literally nobody is going to subscribe to you, nobody is going to watch you. You're just going to upload into a channel moot. Nothing's gonna give. It's going to all appear worthless. But this is where you're gonna post, because this is where the satanic freaks are gonna watch you. Because kibona tompo, kibona King Kong, kibona ba go basha their chest on a mountaintop. But there are your true enemies. And so when you post, even though it looks like nothing is going on YouTube, they see you, and they're the ones that you're at war with. So never again will you have to deal with that minion from America. Never again will you ever have to deal with minions. You're not gonna have to deal ever again with your family members, okay? I kept getting such horrible nightmares on a loop ever since saying that I'm going to start a new YouTube channel of my family members abusing me. My little sister, my older sister, my mom, like everybody, my uncle trying to marry me off to a no-brainer, my cousin unzali busy at his spelling to try and make me regret whatever. Minion, rubbish that are trying to keep me buried. For my friends from high school, for my friends from varsity, for my friends from corporate South Africa, etc. Yeah, people that essentially betrayed me and that think of me as Carrie. Remember I spoke about how it is that these people, when they look at me, they think I'm Carrie. I've got a spiritual gifting, and with it I'm out here killing everybody at prom because they put pig's blood on my head. I have to be eliminated. Papa, former friends, ex-boyfriends, my family, my former friends, I made mention of former friends, former colleagues, like people that every so often come into my ministry to surveil me. The Lord was like, they're the ducks, you must blind. They're the flies flying around your ear, you must blind. They are the woodpecker all up in your knee, all up in your hoof, so as a big fat giant dinosaur. They're the irritant. They're the ones that will keep on throwing random, strange, ugly, worthless spells that are going to distract you from the fact that King Kong needs them to get to you. He needs to frustrate you through them, so you will finally compromise something of yourself. Otherwise, so if you can eliminate King Kong's minions, you will easily kill King Kong. He will literally be knocked out within mere weeks of you posting in a YouTube channel that has no subscribers, no views. Every video that you post in Jefela will truly like. But you see, the thing about it being dead, still dead quiet. Listen, I've had experience with this before. There was a guy from MTN that I thought was my future husband. That guy, I finally discovered that no, he was not that thing. He married some other woman. I tried to let go. I did let go. I moved on. Mara ang latela morago, especially after finding out that he was married with death spells. Because to him it was like, okay, so I made a mistake. I married some other woman, but I love you. So you're not gonna marry anyone else, therefore die. Ke ha motho o ang lateletse morago ka ditlhare, ang lateletse morago ka suicide spells over months until I ended up hating him so much, despising him so much that I kept on telling him where to get off in my ministry. Eventually, I went underground because my family was persecuting me to a point where I couldn't continue with ministry, otherwise I would lose a place to stay. They were basically saying, don't do the work of the Lord, or if you continue, we're gonna kick you out of home. That was literally what I was facing. So I stopped with ministry for the sake of preserving my life, and I was off literally the internet for 3 years. 3 years.
Exactly. Wow.